Welcome. This is Rick. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here to talk to you today about something that you find in old Sanskrit writings. We're talking about that Sanskrit, some 6,000-year-old Indian or Hindu based writings, and of course they have some of the more persistent of these things. This is having to do with Krishna. Today's story is about the attack on Dvarka, which is one of their cities, by the Vimanas. This was a demon, the demon King Shalva, or Shalva. We'll just call it Shalva. Was riding around on a Vimana, and this is how he decided to attack. All right. So what he does. Let's see, what is it? They want to call it some kind of spacecraft. So what happens in the text, this guy's going on to talk about it, says, it appeared and disappeared. And it was invisible, and it was seen and unseen. This Shava launched a spear at Krishna's chariot. It made a loud, roaring sound, and it lit up the whole sky like a mighty meteor. But Krishna took his great weapons, he took his weapons and split it into hundreds of pieces with his arrows, and it was likened to lightning bolts. So then it's Krishna's time. Then Krishna struck Shava's Vimana with a torrent of arrows, appearing like the powerful rays of the sun. Now I'm going to stop here for a moment. This is the lead-in, so this is this is the conflict. There's a conflict between some dark force and some lighter force, and the dark force was coming in to most of all these stories, Krishna would be Christ, it'd be you. When you were going in, you would meet up with someone that was trying to stop you from going about this, because they wanted this land, they want this place. All right, they don't want to give it up to someone else. All right, someone's coming in to fight for you. All right, so what you get first Shava comes out of the Vimana and personally goes to attack Krishna. That's one. Two, Krishna wounds Shava. All right, Shava disappears instantly. Just at this touch, she disappears. All right. A messenger then shows up saying, your mother has sent me to tell you that Shava has captured your father. All right. What's really interesting about that, let's see, is there more numbers? Yeah, 4. 5, Shava reappears with Krishna's father as his captive. And 6, Shava cuts off the head of Krishna's father with a sword. All right. As this is showing you right here, what we're getting here in the number system, this demon comes out to attack him personally. All right, it's going to stop this from happening. Here, I don't want to automatically shut this off or just inadvertently shut it off. When you are going under, when Jesus is going under, there's this idea of something coming in to stop this from happening. Something coming in, a talk or a knock, a devil coming in and offering something up. He's going to take you off track. Is what he's the whole idea is to take you off track, to take your mind, to make you think of something else, to take you on to more personal matters. All right, so as it works out with this here, taking the head with him, Shava enters into his Vimana, which was hovering in the sky. Krishna detected that it was an illusion engineered by Mayadava. This is a messenger, and employed by Salva. Krishna could see neither the messenger nor the headless body of his father. And then he smashed to pieces by Krishna the weapon of Vimana, and it fell into the sea. So what we get at the finish of this party here, now here I am, this is where I wrote it down. What you get at the end of this story is that the Krishna didn't believe it. It was Maya. You remember, this is fake. It was put on, and it was employed by Salva and so, all he did was, aim towards his problem, blew it up, and it was gone. Now that's the end of the story. He's conquered his evil, and these are all the same stories. This is the same as Jesus and all these other little things that are going on. As far as the temple, the three kinds of Vimanas, it goes like this. There's the gross material side of a Vimana, which would be, a physical thing, all right? There's the subtle material, which is, in flux, right? And then there's third is the spiritual element, all right? And of course, these Vimanas, all these are working in the spiritual element, and those three just showed you how to get there. Remember 1, 2, and 3. The gross material, the subtle material, that's when you got them both together, and then you had the spiritual side of things. It's very, very interesting that you had this, all right? These Vimanas, these are airplanes and these flying machines. They're likened to the towers of the Hindu temples. They're also called Vimanas, all right? So what they were saying is that these here were basically, these towers were filled with colorful figurines on the top of them, numerous gods and goddesses. These were all above the ground. And it's saying like this here, it says before you can go and play with the gods, we need to first turn away from the distractions of the mind and turn inward towards God for our salvation. All right? That is absolutely wild. All right? So that was just a simple little story, and it was the battle. It's in the Sanskrit writing, it's in the Bhagavad Purana. All right? 6,000-year-old. And this was a fight between Krishna and a demon king called Shalva. All right, and we've heard all about these stories before. Now, before and I said, this could be a quick and easy one. But I don't give a damn how long they are. I don't care if you listen to it or not, because I'm chronicalizing something that's more important than getting hits, getting readers to like me. Eventually, I would like to hope that this would be a way I could probably write all this stuff down and make a book on it, or it'll just be there for other people that whoever wants to learn it, they can learn it. And I don't care how long it takes to put out my information. The book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel has another one of these situations where it is looked at as a UFO. It's also probably 6,000 years old, all right? And it all begins on this the 13th year, the 4th month, and the 5th day. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3. So this is when he's reborn. This is when it all starts for him. All right, and it's going to be really interesting how this works. It's not a really long one. It's only 28 verses. Okay, but it says, and now it came to pass, I was amongst the exiles by the Shabar channel, and that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. Shabar channel means force and strength. So this is 1. 2 is, it says, on the 5th day of the month and on the 5th year. This is about his king's captivity. So he's the priest for the king, so this would make him, but it's probably about this king that we wind up talking about. But anyways, 2 is a combination of the two. It says the 5th day of the month, and it also said the 5th year. Those 5s, 2 and 2, 5 means our skin, so 2 is about their creation. 2 is about God's creation, so this is us in duality, 5 and 5, and it's also the good side of us, and it's the bad side of us mixed together. All right. 3, the word of the Lord came, expressing unto Ezekiel in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river Shabar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. So 3 is all these combinations is his creation and him joined together. His hand is upon him. This is number 3. And the land of Chaldees, if you can remember, that's the east. It's the mountains. It's the idea, that's a region. Okay, and so 4 comes in. 4. And a great whirlwind came out of the north, and a great cloud with fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was above it, and out of the midst there was the color of amber, out and about in the midst of the fire. 4 is our world, and in the midst of the fire, if you were to think about our chakra system, that's our solar plexus. That's the yellow glowing part of us. All right, and that's 4, 5. Also out of the midst came 4 creatures. 4, 5 came 4 creatures. Okay. This was their appearance of their appearance, and 5 would be, first is 5, the appearance, or the likeness of man. Under 5, that's our body. 6, everyone had 4 faces and 4 wings. That's 6. 6 is the 6th chakra. You're getting ready to go. 7, their feet were straight feet, and their soles, their feet were like soles of a calf's foot, and sparkled like burnished brass. It's hard to say that, but this is 7. 7 is that, this part of the mind when you're going into this room, all right. And a lot of times this idea when it says that your feet were likened to the calf's foot, you remember that you are that calf. You're the one going down. So that's pretty cool. And brass is what you are at the moment. That's what we're looking at being. When we cross over from even silver. Silver, anything is really just that, less than that of gold. All right. More in the likeness. 8. That the hands of a man were under their wings, on their 4 sides, and their faces and their wings. I'm almost over this 8. It all comes out to 8, and the wings have to do with the horses. When it comes down to 4. 8 at the end. Remember, a lot of these stories, 8 horses show up, carrying the whatever's behind, and usually it's that 8 is that everything is lined up beautifully. All right. 9, and it's control. 9 is their wings were joined one to another, and they turned not when they went. They went, every one straight forward. So went is whenever they are asked, when they're summoned, they went. That's went. When we go under, that's just another name for meditation. Went. 10. Each had a human face. All right, that was the first part of it. It also had a face of a lion on the right side, and you had an ox on the left, and we also had the eagle. So these are the 4 solid signs of the zodiac. When we talk about this 4 has to do with the northeast, south, and west, and that has to do with the nature of man. And that would be like on the right side, you're going to have Judah. You're going to have this is where the sun rises. This is the east. The right side is the lion. The ox is the left side. The beast side is on the left side. And so the eagle is going to, the human face is going to be the lower side of us, the south. And eagle is going to be what comes down. Eagle is also Scorpio, because there used to be an eagle. All right, that shows how old the script is. Okay, so if we find out whichever one of these eons ago were venerating this Scorpio as an eagle, then you would understand that. All right, and how later on they talk about it being Scorpio. But it's just very interesting that it's a mixture of old scriptures, what it is. And they don't expect you to know it because they've told you not to have anything to do with astronomy and astrology and stuff like that. All right, so this is number 10. The lion on one side, the ox on the other. This is just so pure, All right, so we've got 11. 11, I don't know what I have. I skipped it. It must not have meant anything. It must have repeated itself. 12. Turn not the way they went. They were taught. It's really speaking about these things when they were summoned, when they were together, they were all together as one. That's really what they're saying. All right. And what you have there is you have the north, which is. Oh, we already went through all of that. Maybe not that I tell you that the lion side is the east, that's our spiritual side, and the ox is the intellectual side of us, the west. 13, 3, 4, that makes a 4. This is what he sees. He sees burning coals of fire, an appearance of lamps. It went up and down. This is what they're talking about inside these beasts. Got a little bit of airplane coming over. They were in the likeness and the appearance of burning coals of fire and the appearance of lamps. It went up and down amongst the living creatures. That's 13. Let's see where I have to go now. Because I really kind of bastardized how I take my notes. It's just crazy. 14 is a 5. And the living creatures ran and returned as in the appearances of flashes of lightnings. 15. Now I beheld the living creatures. Behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. Alright, 16 says on the page. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. 16. And the appearance of these wheels and their works was like unto the color of beryl. This is in the midst of it, alright? And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as if it were the wheel in the middle of a wheel. Alright? That's pretty interesting, alright? That color beryl is yellow, alright? What's in the middle of us, again, is that solar plexus, and that's very important because that's where we are when we're kind of awake. But when we are going into meditation, that's where the sun goes down. You know, when the sun goes down, there was darkness until the 6th hour, you know, or after the 6th hour, there was darkness, alright? That's 16. Alright, let's go back. I don't want to lose this. 16, 17. When they went upon the 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. Alright, and so again, it's 18. The rings were full of eyes when they turned about, and it was as if they were so high and so dreadful. This is 9, so it's talking about a very high, the higher conscious is like, and this particular mind must be blowing his mind. But we're looking at 18, and we got one more back here, 19. When they went, the wheels went, and with them, with the living things and the creatures, were lifted up from earth. And when they were lifted up, the wheels were lifted up. Verse 20. And it says, right over the Spirit, it says, wherever the Spirit was wanting to go, it all went. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. So, listen to that. That's number 20, which is about you. When it says that there's a combination, number 2 is a combination of something. So it says that it's the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. Alright? That's 20. 21, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels, so where he went, they went. The likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as if the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth from their heads. Under the firmament were the wings straight and towards one another. Everyone had 2 wings, covering their body and the sides of one another. And when they went, they heard a noise. It was like the noise of a great waters, and the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. This was number 6. When they stood, they let down their wings. This is on your way. 7 is next. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads. And when they stood and had to let down their wings. So this is what they're doing. They heard this noise that was over their heads, so they had to stood and they had to let down their wings. All right. And above the firmament and above their heads was the likeness of the throne, as the appearance as a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man upon it. And I saw in the color of the amber, as it appeared of fire around and about and within it, from the appearance of his loins, even upward, and from the appearance of his loins, even downward, I saw something like a fire, and it had brightness all about, as the appearance of the bow that in the cloud in the day of the rain. Here, let's put that back. 8, 9, 10. This is number 10, which is 1. As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness around and about. This was the appearance and the likeness and the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spoke. All right, so that's the end of that chapter. Chapter 1. Chapter 2, what? And he said to me, Son of man, stand up and on your feet, and I will speak to you. All right, we're not going to go into chapter 2. We're just going to go that far, because this is the part of the Bible that everyone says is Ezekiel, the whirlwind and everything. The whirlwind is coming up from the top, from the north. This is Magog, all right. And whenever it opens, Gog and Magog is about a ceiling, firmament. The ceiling, the firmament in here is above. It's the heavens, is the firmament, and then you have this. Let me see how it works. You had the wings, and then you had the fire. Those are the 3 stages of consciousness. Once you get down from the earth, this is what is above earth that they talk about. If you want to get above the earth, you're going to have to, to mingle with the gods. You have to put earth behind you. All right. I just think this is beautiful, you guys. This is so cool. So you saw that when we were doing with Nehemiah, they went right off. The first bat was in the 3rd chapter of the first chapter of all the 3rd chapter of his book brought right on this idea of repairing this way into this city. And in Ezekiel's wheel, he comes right off, or Ezekiel right off the bat. It's the first chapter. The first chapter. It's starting at the 16th verse. So 16 is 7. So he's really talking about, hey, what's going to happen on the 7th? And it just goes on and on. But it's just absolutely wonderful. Then let's say the 16th is the whole chapter is like that. But once you read it, and what I've just done is read for you, you understand that it's just more talk about the Kundalini. All right, so how is it and why is it so important, this little Kundalini story, huh? How is it that I can see it so easily, and other people can't or don't want to? And I'm not going out of my way to make this shit up, there's cool stuff on there, So, as I discover stuff, I'm still going to put it up here and chat with you. I don't care how long it takes it in, Again, I'm not here to, to comfort someone in their little worlds, but to help them to understand what's going on. Did you understand about the rainbow that comes in the cloud when it rains? Remember, the covenant that God makes with us is this. He's not going to flood the earth. He's made this covenant with us. You come up and talk with me. Let's solve this thing one-on-one, you and me. All right? And of course, whenever they saw God leaving the temple in some of these older stories of the Bible, where he actually got up or he's flying into Babylon, or getting up and going, he's on the four, same thing, all these things are four, and now we find that, the Sanskrit script writing is talking about the very same thing, and of course man is so caught up on it. They say, when it crashed into the sea, it crashed into the truth. When things go into the ocean, they're, or coming out of the ocean, these ideas, this is marine, the water. This is being birthed, or out of this is being clean. That's where, it's gone, But this guy was saying, hey, if you look on the coast out there by the city, this Darkma city, that you could have, there's good chances you'll find a crashed UFO. But it just so happens that it fits the code too well to be true. Alright? And again, like the Hopi and all these, the guys don't want to blame or claim all these things as being true. But they're shooting arrows back and forth at each other. Down at the very bottom of the earth, when we have a circle, the lower side is the underworld. Down at the very bottom of the underworld, you have the constellations of Sagittarius and Capricorn, and they're known as the thieves. From what in my teachings, that the thieves, when it comes about, the planting and being able to pull something alive out of the ground, is less right there. That these guys have to hunt in order to during this time of year. And so they are the archers, and of course Capricorn is a goat. And so, whether you want to put him into the negative theme or not, but goats climb hills. And that's the situation that you're in when you are in that meditation. You're climbing up the hill. And of course, when you get up to the other part, the most part up here, that's a crab. A crab can only go left and right, right? And, it's just beautiful way of writing, that follows along with the showing you very well that the constellations in the sky are very much a part of this. In fact, it's that number 4 that flips a lot of people out. But, once you catch on to that, you'll find that it takes these 4 things. You have to have your intellect in line. You have to have your body ready to go. You have to have the mind for it. So you really, something's got to come from the north. You got to let the ceiling open. You want to open. That's Gog, Magog. Gog closed. Magog open. That's the north. This is your emotions. This is where do what you can, and this is where the rain is, the idea that you're going to come to me when you're sad. And that's why when they have birth, it's suck. The word suck is in there. And this is having to do with the King James Bible. You will not get any of this information out of any other Bible. You won't. They've done their best to ruin God's word. Alright? So when things went, they went, and things they don't look behind. He says, they don't turn, they go straight forward. There's no turning. There's nothing that's going to stop them along their way, It's like, put yourself to the middle mast and hold on tight, So no matter how rough it gets, as long as you stay centered in the middle of yourself, alright? This is wonderful. Guys, best to you. Love you. This is God's honest truth.